We are here on the Disney Destiny, sailing in one of 2 forward wheelchair accessible ocean view staterooms with Verandah. And we're gonna go check this out. There is an automatic door on the wheelchair accessible stateroom as well as a doorbell. And so we are now going to use the touchpad here.
Welcome to our stateroom here on the Disney Destiny. As you see, it is a pretty spacious room with a lot of areas to roam around and move around in. The room, as you see, has a theme of Hercules.
We also have a possessed lamp that turns on and off at will. So we've put in a request. I'm sure they're going to fix this, but just, that is what's happening there. So here we have some additional Hercules art. So now let's talk about storage. When you first enter the room, there is a giant full-length mirror so you can check out your fit of the day. And another one, which I imagine you could do one of those clever, okay, I want to see the front of my outfit and the back of my outfit, and so so you got that going on. Closets are very important. So we have, this is the first of 3 closets for hanging. This has a shelf on the top that will hold your life jackets. There are hangers here. You always want to make sure that the hangers are gathered. You don't want to do this situation because that will keep happening and it'll drive you bonkers. There's also a lower shelf here that you can use. It's deep, so don't forget things down there, but that is an option. The second closet we have is shelving. So you have 3 shelves here, 2 more at the bottom, and you have a safe. Now it's a small safe. It's good for passports, maybe an iPad, probably not getting your laptop in there, you select a code. So you have that as well. That is a good spot to put your passports because if something were to happen and you were off the ship and couldn't get back, let's say you had to go to a hospital or something, or you imbibed too much and didn't get back to the ship on time, they're going to look there for your passports. And if you have them, they will then take them off of the ship and give them to I can't remember the title of the person. I'll put it here, but there's a person whose contact is in the app who is if something bad happens in port, that's the person you're supposed to contact. It's their local contact there. And so if the ship leaves without you, that person will be your point person to help you figure out how to get home or get back or get to the next port or whatever. And so they will leave your passports with that person if you don't show up. So it is so first of all, just make sure you get back to the ship on time. But God forbid you had to go to the hospital, something that's outside of your control. They're gonna look for your passports there. So if you don't bring your passports with you when you leave the ship, which is, sometimes is a better idea to bring it with you. But if you don't, consider putting them in that closet.
The safe, huh?
The second closet is the same as the first. Yes. And then we see here the television, which is at a good angle for watching TV. And then you want to talk about the storage over here, Adam?
Yes, the storage over here, it's a narrow piece of closet. And so this also has shelving for hanging items. I don't have any coat racks in here or coat hangers in here, but still that's pretty good. I can steal some from that over there.
Yes.
You have your under the shelf storage.
Do you want to demonstrate how that works?
Angle's probably tough because I can't get very close.
Oh.
Yeah,
huh.
I can't.
That's ill-conceived.
It's very narrow, so.
It doesn't get wide enough for you to get in with your chick. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't want to.
You don't want to break it, but okay. So it's a little narrow.
All right.
You can do it. One more try.
That is a little bit hard.
You can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. You can do it. Grab the top. Pull it down all the way. Pull it. Pull it. Pull it. Pull it. Ta-da! Now it stays. Yeah.
Nope.
No. Wait. It should have stayed.
It doesn't stay.
It will absolutely stay. Well, let me. It's supposed to stay. Do you want me to try it? Try. If it wasn't copyrighted, I would play Hercules. I will go the distance while this is happening. Okay. All right, let me try. What we're learning here is that it is not a simple thing to use.
Now, if it doesn't stay,
Then you were correct. All right, so here it doesn't stay. Oh, it doesn't. All the other ones stay.
Yeah.
All right, so Adam gets to say I was right, like he was right. It does not stay, and it's supposed to. So
Because it doesn't have to have
weird.
clothes on it for it to stay down. Generally, it's supposed to stay down by itself. So.
All right, so we're gonna tell him that. We've now had Ricardo come in like 3 times for problems. So problem number 1 was the possessed lamp. Problem number 2 is that this bed is actually quite high. Can you line up next to it, Adam, so we can see? It's at his knees, right? It's above his knees, and that's really not. So usually it would be level to like where his hand is right now.
As we continue our storage options, you have several shelves, 3 to be on that side and 3 on this side. The lighting is controlled by this couple switches here. And so we have your mirror, your downlight, your curtain, and your balcony. So each one is marked for what it does. We have our drawers here, which are pretty much empty. Hopefully there's nothing in there. And of course you have your hair dryer. It's part of your things you cannot take home.
Yes, so there's a hair dryer as well as a heated mat for styling tools and that kind of thing. So, or heat mat rather.
And then we have your stationery drawer, with your Disney stuff on there. Then you also have your beverage cooler.
And there it is, cooling a beverage.
Yes, it is.
So this is a beverage cooler. It is not a refrigerator. So it's not intended for medications.
If you require that such thing, you need to reach out to your stateroom attendant, whoever he or she may be, and inquire about that.
Right.
So there's a curtain here, which can be blocked off as it has tracks on the ceiling that you can move along. So if you may want to put the little ones down or someone else want to have a little blocked off section, you can do that when they make up the bed.
Right, so this is a bed. We'll show that. Let me do magic of Disney. Poof. And so you can close this area off if you want privacy. So now we head to the bathroom. Like I said, there's a mirror on the door, and you've got both the main light and the night light. It is a lever handle. Nothing automatic about that. So we come into the bathroom, and it is a standard cruise ship Disney bathroom, which is very nice. And so we first, over here, we have the commode and the flush that is behind it. And you have the grab bars. So on this case, if you're sitting on the toilet, the grab bars are on your right side. So if you wanted them to be on the other side, then you're going to want the mirror room of this, which I will put the number here. Okay. So then here you have your vanity and roll under sink. The towels include a makeup towel. You get proper hand soap and not a stupid bar. You get the you get the body lotion. Thank you. Another makeup towel. Tissues. Down here is the garbage, and there's usually a sharps container. Yes. So there is a sharps container here. If you have larger sharps, they have larger containers. Just let them know.
So as we come into the actual shower section of it, the shower gel, conditioner, and shampoo are all on a lower section, as you see. We have your towel here for the floor, so people who are walking around don't slip and fall, or actually put a towel down so no one slips and fall on a wet floor.
Right, and you want to do your bench.
And so they redesigned it, I think, only on the resorts, but that is much louder than I wanted it to.
So there's the bench, and it is metal, and that's how it attaches, and so it's a pretty secure bench.
There is a drying line that's lower the lower side. As you see, the hook is on behind me, and it goes across. And you also have an emergency pull. If you need that, just for safety, have them come make it lower for you.
There are grates on the floor, so that does prevent leakage. You have both the grates on both sides of the both sides of the shower, and then you also have one at the entry, so that's making sure that no floods go into the room. There's also an emergency call button down here, so if you fell and can scoot yourself over, there's that. So now it is after 4 o'clock, so we are fine to go out into the veranda. I think we already unlocked this. So you push it down, it swings out. So it is a, ooh.
You can go ahead, I don't. Space.
So it is a swing out door that is automatic. It goes back. So you're just gonna have to like prop it open for yourself as you come out. There is a ramp here so that you can get out in a wheelchair, and it's decent space. So you might need to do some furniture arranging, but I have my husband come join me out here. Can you come out so they can see the space? Oh, sorry. I thought you were going that way. Okay.
Am I clear?
Yes, you are.
Alrighty. So yes, it's a little bit. You may have to Tetris yourself out here to eventually get out here. But once you do, you should have enough space. We do have a couple of chairs and a side table. But yeah, it's a pretty spacious amount. We do have another window right there.
Oh.
Is that our window? Wait a minute. I don't think that's our window because...
I mean, it's certainly not someone else's window.
Oh, yeah, because our cabinet is right
But-
there. My dresser's over there. Yeah.
I literally have no idea what this is. We'll go look on the other side and see what it is. Like, it could just be for aesthetics.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. That's weird.
Okay.
All right. And so then, now the view of this is not considered obstructed, but, you do have a deck there, right? So you're not seeing the white crash onto the boat, which I will miss. I mean, you can see it a little bit over there, but, so that's, you're missing that part, which I do kind of like. But you can people watch, though. We were people watching earlier. So we will give you our initial impressions now, and then we'll come back after we've stayed here a while to give you our impressions, like having actually lived in the room, because, that can always change once you've been in it for a minute. So what are your initial thoughts, Adam?
My initial thoughts are it looks pretty good and clean. Other than the ghosts and stuff that are haunting the lamp and things like that.
Ghost lamp is a little weird.
Ghost lamp is, but otherwise, yeah, it looks pretty nice. Everything is like wide open, as a good accessible room should be and is. The bed height, our stateroom attendant is gonna come back with us on that, see if it's lowered or not. If not, we can find some solutions to that.
Yeah, I mean, Adam was gonna, like, when I noticed it, Adam was like, I'll be fine. But then we thought, no, let's ask for you all, because some people won't be fine.
Right.
And so we're checking to see what happens.
Options, right.
Now, he did offer that he can make up the third bed because that is lower. We're gonna have him do that, just so that you all can see that option, and we'll, try laying on it and see how it feels. Yeah, I'm optimistic about this room. This is the first time we're staying in this room type. There's only two. There are only two forward, on the side, not family ocean view staterooms on these style ships, right, that are accessible. So if you like a side room and you don't want to pay extra for a family ocean view stateroom, this is it. This is your room, right? This one, or the one on the other side, which is just the mirror of this one. So this is the room. And it is very forward. So it's not a midship. It's forward.
He's going to get back with you guys and tell you how it is.
Welcome back. It's been 9 days that we've been in this room on the Disney Destiny. And what do you think, Adam?
The room has been very, very good, I think. There are a couple of things, minor issues in the beginning that Disney helped us resolve, but that was quickly taken care of once we let them know.
For sure. So when we first got here, The bed was set at the standard room height, which is 29 inches tall.
Which is way too tall for somebody in a, I guess, wheelchair.
For a lot of people who are wheelchair users and self-transfer, they're going to want a lower bed. They're going to want a bed that is closer to 24 inches or wheelchair height is what we often refer to it as. And this bed was not that.
No, it was not. It was not.
And we've had this problem in the past, and we've just sort of dealt with it. But then we decided that we wanted to see what could be done about the bed, because we were here on a travel agent learning trip, and I've learned so much on this trip.
Yes.
And so we wanted to push the boundaries a little bit and see what could be done for different circumstances.
Right.
So we decided to ask,
because
the
we
bed could be
heard,
lowered.
yeah, because you said that we heard that they can lower the beds, but of course I've never tried that, because it's like, okay, I normally can try to get inside a 29-inch bed. I can get into it, but the chances of me sliding off because my feet need traction were very, very high.
Mm-hmm.
So the first night I did it, and I was like, nope. I told Brooke, I'm gonna slide right off. Let's push the boundaries, like you said, and see what we can do, what they can accommodate us for.
Exactly. And so we talked to our room steward, who looked at us like we had two heads. Not in like a mean way, but he was like, how like, I don't think that's something they can do. And I said, well, can you ask? Because I had heard that this could happen, but I've also heard plenty of people saying they've never heard of such a thing.
Right.
Both other travel agents and people who work for Disney Cruise Line, people who are in charge of sales for Disney Cruise Line, lots of people saying, I didn't know that was a thing. And so we decided to go ahead and ask.
Yep.
And even though the room steward wasn't familiar with it, he went ahead and asked anyway. And as it turned out, they can lower the bed. They came in with new legs and made the bed lower.
We may have been the first people to ask about lowering the bed, I think.
Certainly with this room steward, if nothing
Yes.
else. And because it's important to remember when you're looking at accessible rooms, accessibility looks different for everybody. And so
Right.
you can't come into a room and expect it to magically meet every single one of your needs. There need to be some tweaks. But what I love about Disney Cruise Line is that they've thought about the tweaks and they have them on hand. Someone
Yes.
who does a Hoyer lift, for example, transfers with a Hoyer lift, would probably prefer the higher bed. So it's not every single person is going to want it to be exactly the same.
Okay.
If someone uses a Hoyer and or someone else has to help them get dressed or things of that nature, higher bed is going to make that a lot easier than lower bed. So just remembering that. So if you come in and it's a lower bed and you wish it was higher, same thing, you can ask. And they do have legs they can swap out to make it higher. Once they lowered it, it was just high enough underneath for us to fit our suitcases. Whereas we had a lot of space before, we have sort of just barely enough space there. And there's always the trick of opening it and putting it in that way if that works for you. We also discovered that with the closet, when we were going around, we couldn't get the closet to
arm
close,
to come down.
For the arm, we couldn't get the arm to stay down. Now, every other cruise we've been on, the accessible closet has a bar that comes down and it'll stay down so that you can load your clothes on the bar and then push it back up. This one wasn't staying down. And we tried all kinds of things and it just wasn't staying down.
Because initially you thought I wasn't pulling hard enough and was like...
Because it's not been the first time that you've declared it won't stay down and then I came behind you and made it stay down.
Okay, that's probably,
Like it's happened before in videos where I've had to write in the captions, it does stay down, he just didn't pull hard enough.
Don't put that in the caption then. Okay, yes, anyway. So the bar would not stay down.
And then I saw these little stoppers that were in the closet right at the point where the bar
Where the arm
comes down. And so I thought, I wonder if those come out. And they did. And once I pulled that down, it still didn't want to stay, but it was closer to staying.
Right.
So then I put just like 3 hangers on it to weigh it down a little bit, and then it stayed down.
Yeah.
And Adam could load it and then put it back up. So if you find yourself in that situation, see if it has these things. And granted, this is a brand new ship, so I don't know whether these things were supposed to come out and just the person installing it didn't know. I'm debating whether I should put them back in or leave them out. But this is, we found it with these in, and so part of me feels like I need to put it back. But that was why the closet wasn't staying down. Do you want to talk about the third issue that we had?
The ghost light, or
Yes.
the ghost light. So when we first got into the room and turned on the sign lamp right here, or somewhere over my shoulder.
There.
Yes, that side lamp, it would flicker. It kept flickering. It would go off for maybe 3-4 seconds, then cut on. It stayed on for like maybe 90 seconds, 60 seconds, and cut off, flicker. It kept doing it over and over and over again. I turned the light off, turned it back on, turned it all the way to maximum. We could not figure out why it was doing that. So, yeah.
And we don't know the answer, but it did stop.
It did stop.
So they fixed it. Yes. Whatever it was, they were able to resolve it again. We went to our room steward and told him, hey, this is happening. And that was the, and whatever they did stopped it. Final issue that we had with the room was the door.
Oh my God.
So it wasn't as bad as the time that our door was possessed and kept trapping us in on the Disney Wish. If you haven't seen that, check out that video above. But it did stop, the button stopped working a few times. Now in this case, when the button stopped working to open the door, we could still get out. We just had to pull it open manually, which is easier for me to do than it is for Adam. What is most likely happening is that when housekeeping comes to clean the room, there's a setting that they can use to keep it open. For the on-off switch, there are 3 positions, not just 2. And when it's in that 3rd position, it'll open once and close, but then it stops doing it again. It always happens after we've just gotten back into the room, when somebody else was here doing, they were cleaning. And so my guess is that they are positioning the door to stay open while they're cleaning, and then they're not fully putting it back in place so that it is not engaging properly.
Right.
And so we found turn off the door, turn it back on the door, and it solved the problem. Just make sure you have it all the way on and not in the middle. Those hiccups aside, which I think are a product of it being a brand new ship and folks are still getting used to it. I mean, it only launched 3 months ago, so I guess maybe 4 at this point. But it's not been a ton of time. In an inaugural season is where they get all the bugs out. So know that if you're going on a brand new ship. Overall, if you want a side room and you don't want to pay the extra for the family room, then this is a great option.
Yeah, it's a great option.
The balcony, you get to see the port when you're coming in, which a lot of people love. It's easier to see the ocean. You don't have to worry about like that white wall veranda thing that like sometimes you're blocked by the metal of the ship to see the ocean. You don't have glass. That. Now, because of where it's located, when you look straight down, you actually see another deck. Although if you like people watching, that is a feature, not a bug. That is
great, yeah.
Because, people were going past there all the time and they're not really seeing you because nobody's like looking up as they're walking around, but you're seeing them. So it didn't feel like a lack of privacy or anything. I would stay in this room again. If you prefer a side balcony, you were able to get out there by yourself, right?
Yes, I was able to get there by myself. When we went into Nassau the other day, we saw the other ships beside me. It was another Carnival Freedom, and you can see, look at the other ships beside you, which is great. Sometimes you like that view to see, some of the other ships. I would stay here again. I would like this room again. And if you like to book a room like this or this room, you can reach out to Brooke and she will help you plan and do all the stuff for you. Her services are free, but it helps the channel. So go ahead and reach out to her and we can get this taken care of for you.
Absolutely. When you book with me, Disney pays us, so you don't have to, and it costs you the exact same thing as you would pay to book directly, but you get to help a small business, at which then we feed into this channel. And so my goal is always making sure that every single person in your party is able to enjoy their vacation. And so we spend a lot of time taking care of special needs and checking off boxes, making sure that we have prepared fully so that you will have a great vacation. And if you like this video and you're looking for other room tours, we do have a playlist that we'll link on the end cards in the Triton class series, which is the Wish, the Treasure, and the Destiny. Those all have identical rooms, just different decorations. But until next time,
Stay strong
get creative.
and keep exploring.
We'll see you in the next video.